Microsoft does some really cool stuff with some giveaways and things like that. And I always point out that that's really awesome to see. As a company, they do have some good ideas and things like that. It's hard to kind of separate sometimes like the fanboys from the just fans. I know a lot of people think like I'm a fanboy, despite the fact that literally I just own thousands of video games from, pretty much every platform. And I actually grew up a Sega fan more than anything, but I did gravitate towards Xbox because Xbox came out at a time when like online gaming was really starting to take off, and it was just like next level stuff for me. You can imagine you're kind of grew up with the single player stuff, and then you've got things like NFL 2K coming out and stuff like that. Like I started kind of dabbling online with the Dreamcast, and like when Xbox came out and Xbox Live, it was just like blowing my mind what that you were able to do. And I know it's a bad thing now, but it was really cool, like in games like KOTOR, where there was like free DLC at the time. You could go to this free planet and get like stuff, and it was really cool. And like same thing with like if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2 and you had an Xbox, you had free DLC where you had characters that you couldn't get anywhere else because you could go online and download them. And I always thought that was really pretty cool. With that being said, I want to get into this because I find this to be a very cool program and cool to get free stuff. What's up, everyone? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing. If you guys enjoy the content, please like the video, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. I certainly appreciate that. I do daily gaming content, so if you guys are looking for that, I try to be fun yet informative. I did come off of a very interesting kind of sabbatical from doing videos for a while, and I'm refreshed, feeling good about to go out and do my thing and talk about video games. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Now again, Microsoft gives away free games quite a bit, but they also do something called free play weekends, which is equally cool because, believe it or not, and this is especially cool if you have really good internet, you can download, play, even beat a whole game in an entire weekend, and you don't have to pay for it. So like that's doubly cool, man. It's like renting a game for the weekend, like back in the day. So free play days have returned with more games that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Standard and Core subscribers can play for free over the weekend. So that is kind of the hitch to that. Microsoft has now confirmed the next batch of free play games. Cassette Beast, Paw Patrol World, which is a good one if you've got kids, and Soldiers are all now free to play for Game Pass subscribers until August 11th. On top of that, The Elder Scrolls Online is free for Xbox users, for all Xbox users, until August 12th. So you get an extra few days to kind of jump into that. Cassette Beats is pretty cool. I've played some Paw Patrol games with my son. Those are pretty decent stuff. Pretty standard fare. Elder Scrolls Online is pretty fun. Never heard of Soldiers, but hey, there it is. I mean, you can try it out for free. With the exception of the Elder Scrolls Online, none of the free Xbox games on offer this weekend are already included in the Game Pass library. That being said, Cassette Piece and Paw Patrol World did feature in Game Pass catalog once long time ago. So if you didn't quite get to finish off the achievement list before they're removed from the service, now's the perfect time to kind of jump back in. The games have pretty easy achievements as well. Cassette Piece completion time is actually pretty long, but Cassette Piece is a open world monster catching RPG with a twist. After being whisked off to a remote island, you team up with a colorful cast of characters who use cassette tapes to transform themselves into monsters to battle against strange creatures. What's interesting here, though, is that you can fuse any two monsters together to create new and more powerful monster form. As for the achievement, ignoring the console command method, it only works on PC. A completion takes about 40 hours. Paw Patrol World and the live action adventure game you get to play as your favorite pups from the Paw Patrol universe. Explore Adventure Bay to help bring down Mayor Humdinger and his kitten catastrophe crew who are having mayhem in a new super blimp. The free play day is limited to just, this one's limited to some hours, but you can get some free gamer score there as well. Soldiers mashes together puzzle platforming, Metroidvania exploration, and Souls-like combat, so I guess it wouldn't be for me, into a 16-bit retro-inspired package. After being teleported to a strange land on the fringes of the afterlife, you and your fellow soldiers must explore the world and battle against an ever-evolving roster of enemies in hopes of finding the mysterious guardian who can help you move to the next world. There's not a whole lot of data on the completion percentage on there. Elder Scrolls Online, yeah, you're not completing this anytime soon. But as part of QuakeCon, ZeniMax has made the Elder Scrolls Online free for all Xbox users regardless of subscription until August 12th. During the free play event, all adventurers will have access to ESO's base game for the game's classes, 24 unique zones, and the PvP modes, Battlegrounds and Alliance Wars. As with most MMORPGs, the achievement list is a beast that takes a long time to beat. If you care about the completion percentage, you may want to give Elder Scrolls Online a miss, but it could get you into the games, nonetheless. So I think that's pretty cool. To see that come about or whatever. And always nice to see Microsoft offer these things up. And I always would be remiss if I didn't give out, the perpetual free games of Crackdown 1 and 2, as well as 2 Human. Those are Xbox 360 games that are pretty much always free on Xbox. So, there is that to kind of look forward to and kind of be excited about. For me anyway, I always look at these things and I just say, hey, it's just nice to offer kind of that program to gamers where they can have cool stuff to play. And that's kind of what's on board right here, if you're just looking for stuff. I mean, hey, back in the day, didn't we all used to just kind of get into renting games or whatever for the weekend, and that's sort of what this is, just like a new age version of that. So hopefully you guys are excited by that and enjoying kind of the ability to jump in and play these games and just have a good time with it. And like I said, it's always just fun to see that these things kind of happen the way that they do, and it's an exciting time. Just as a fan of Xbox and a fan of gaming, always being able to kind of go out there and enjoy the different games and things like that. And like I said, it's really kind of up to you, like each individual, what you want to do and what you want to play and how you want to play through these things. Like I said, it's quite interesting to see how this kind of stuff all works out. And hey, good on Microsoft offering free stuff, being able to get out there and offer games for everybody to kind of get out there and enjoy and just try out. I think that's incredible. And it's nice to see Microsoft kind of offer that and do things that get people excited about Xbox again. I've said it for a long time. That's where Microsoft has really kind of failed a lot, and that is they haven't done a good job of getting people excited about the platform. Because a lot of times they just maybe ignore the fact that, hey, we've got these games and this console. They focus on these other things that they believe is the future. And I don't necessarily think of those things as the future. So that's kind of how I look at these things anyway. And we'll see what happens after that point. But yeah, nice to see kind of what's going on there with a lot of these lists and things like that, and how Microsoft is handling it. And I hope that they do games like this, because at the end of the day, they're trying to do their best to get people into buying these games, and the best way to do that is to give people the option to kind of play them and just enjoy them for what they are. And sometimes you can play new things or enjoy things that you wouldn't think you would previously enjoy, and that's like part of the fun of gaming, is kind of exploring and finding new things to play. So like I said, you can check these games out, enjoy them. Crackdown 1 and 2 and 2 Human, they're Xbox 360 games, but they are games that are, kind of fun to own, fun to play. And we'll see what comes from that. It's going to be interesting to see how how to kind of looking forward to what they're going to do next. So anyway, do you guys take advantage of the free play days? Is this I try to do an informative video giving you guys a heads up on this stuff. Not everybody is active on sites and stuff like that, and so it's hard to know when and what games are kind of free and stuff like that. And so I like to kind of give you guys the information on that. So if that is something you guys enjoy, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy the games, rack them up, fact them up, crap gamer them up as always, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.